I've been hearing more and more about this, that like your employer is going to be able to watch you through Teams. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. It freaks me out. And it's just
Your boss
unethical.
doesn't need to install spyware on your laptop. They've already paid for it. And it came bundled with Microsoft 365 license. And there's a decent chance that nobody in your company has ever told you that it's actually switched on. So in this
No one's told me, and I swear if they're watching me, I'm gonna be real upset.
video, I'm going to walk you through the specific Microsoft 365 features that your employer is almost certainly using to monitor how you work, when you work, what you're actually doing, what you say you're
What you're doing, if it's bundled in 365, everyone has 365, so they're 99% using this. If it's bundled in and it's free,
doing. And I'm going
bro.
to show you exactly what's visible, what's hidden, and we manage a team where the line is between useful data and surveillance creep. Because in this day and age, when we have this hybrid working policy, this kind of information I think is really important. Now, here's why. Picture this.
I don't see how this can be useful except to do surveillance. Like, what else would you use it for?
It's a Tuesday. You've had what you think is a solid morning. You've knocked out a few emails. You've sat through a few Teams
Hey,
calls. You've moved a couple of things forward. You close your laptop at 5:50 in the evening or in the afternoon. You feel reasonably good that you've had a good, productive day. You feel happy with yourself. Meanwhile, somewhere else in the business, maybe your line manager, maybe someone in IT, maybe HR, they open up a dashboard,
HR.
one dashboard. And on that dashboard is a neat little breakdown of your entire working day. How many Teams messages you sent, which meetings you attended, and for how long you attended them, whether your camera was on, whether you were an
But if you didn't have calls or like meetings, nothing would show up here. Doesn't mean you didn't do anything, right?
active participant within that meeting or just a warm body sat within the meeting room, waiting room. How many files you've edited in SharePoint, whether you've been collaborative or whether you've been going dark for 2 hour stretches. They didn't ask IT for any of the special report, by the way. They don't need to. They just opened a tab, clicked on the dashboard. That's what they do. And this isn't
Yeah, look, Excel, OneNote, Outlook, PowerPoint. Ooh, this is scary.
hypothetical. This is Microsoft 365, and most of what I'm about to show you comes completely as standard when you get the business license that your company has already paid for. Now,
The thing is, here's the problem with this. Like, first of all, it's definitely way too much surveillance. But what's going to happen is when people get fed up with this kind of like micromanaging, like when it's this micro, it's people are going to get fed up and they're going to quit and just go somewhere else. No one's going to put up with this. I guess unless every single company just massively like they all accept it and use it and then you're kind of screwed at that point, but I feel like at least in the interim people are going to be like I'll go somewhere where they don't use this because I don't want to be micromanaged like
here's
that.
what's in that toolkit, and I'll share it with you. Feature number one of the toolkit is called the Microsoft 365 Productivity Score.
Oh, now we got a
This one is the
grade.
one that caused the most controversy a little while ago. Microsoft launched it, and for good reason it caused the controversy, right? The Productivity Score is a built-in admin dashboard that gives your IT and senior leadership team a detailed breakdown of how employees are using Microsoft 365. We're talking email activity level, Outlook, collaboration, SharePoint,
Email's the big
OneDrive,
one because if you're not looking at email or answering emails, oh no.
Teams participations, whether you're using a mobile app or
But what if you're not getting emails? Like, this is a two-way street here. Like, if I'm not getting emails, I'm not going to look at my Outlook. Why would I look at my Outlook? Nothing's coming in.
the desktop app. When it launched, it showed individual level data, your name, your activity, your scores. Remember, it went mental last year. Microsoft got nailed for it. Privacy advocates said it was a surveillance tool dressed up as a productivity feature. Microsoft
Yes.
responded by rolling up the individual data into anonymized data-wide company stats. But this is the bit most people miss.
So it's anonymized, so it doesn't tell you like what an individual person's doing. It's just company-wide, because that would make me feel a little better. Like company-wide, sure. I don't need it to be me specifically.
Enterprise admins can still pull up individual level data to other
Oh
reporting
no.
tools inside Microsoft ecosystem. The name came off the leaderboard, but the data itself is still there. Feature number two,
So they
Teams
just hid it. People got mad and they said, okay, let's just hide it more so that the employees aren't up in arms.
activity reports. This one lives in the Teams admin center, and it's commonly the most, well, it's probably the most commonly used monitoring tool in any of the Microsoft shop itself. Your IT admin or your manager, they can pull a report showing for any given user, any
Oh
given
my
time period,
God.
how many chat messages you've sent, how many calls you've made, how many meetings you've joined, whether the audio or the video was on, how long the meetings lasted, and how long they were actually present for. For a manager with a team member they're concerned about potentially, or building a performance case against somebody, this is actually really useful ammunition to have. Somebody's been in 3 meetings this week, but their camera's been off. They've sent 0 messages. They leave early every time. That's all in the report. There's also something called the call quality dashboard.
But a meeting doesn't equate to work. A meeting will never equal a deliverable. Like, what if someone attends 0 meetings? What if they come, they leave the meeting early, they don't say anything, blah, 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 but they get all of their work done. Every deliverable that they need to turn in is on time and it's complete and accurate. Like, what do the meetings have to do with it? It's like they want to put so much emphasis on each thing to be like Teams, for instance, to be included in like your productivity. But what if it's not a part of what you have to do for your work? It's
Within that,
not
which
good.
logs the technical quality of every single Teams call, the audio dropouts, the network jitter, the latency, even what your microphone you're using and how much of the battery you've had. Most of it is
Really?
diagnostic rather than surveillance. It's there
What do they need to know about my headphone battery and about my audio like the audio quality? Why? It's just so specific. for no reason.
to help the IT teams fix problems, but it's all locked.
Okay, fix
All of it.
problems.
Feature number 3, Viva Insights. Microsoft sells this as one of the well-being tool, and honestly, the personal version genuinely is well-being. It nudges you to take breaks, block focus time, not answer any emails at 11 p.m. But the manager and the leader
So it's going to remind you to take breaks, but then it's going to ding you when it says that you were inactive for this amount of time. Stop it. Stop it.
dashboard in Viva Insights, they can tell a completely different story. Those views aggregate data from across Microsoft 365, your emails, your meetings, your chats calendar, and surface patterns about all of your team. Who's working outside contracted hours? Who's back-to-back meetings all day? Who isn't connecting with a wider organization? Who's collaborating with who? Technically, it's anonymized at the individual level, but if you're a team of 4 people and the data says one person is sending emails at midnight every night, well, guess what? You don't need to be a detective to work out who that is.
That's true. That's why you schedule your emails. Quick tip for anybody who needs it. Schedule your emails. Don't be sending emails at midnight. Schedule them for the next morning. Pro tip.
Feature number 4 is called the Compliance Center and e-discovery. This one's the nuclear option, and it doesn't get used that often, but when it does, it's comprehensive. The Microsoft Purview Compliance Center gives organizations the ability to run content searches right the way across the entire Microsoft 365 ecosystem. That means emails, team messages, SharePoint files, OneDrive documents, calendar entries, everything. Nuclear, like I say. An admin can go into the Compliance Center and run a query, say every message containing a specific word sent by a specific person over a specific date range, and within a few minutes, they've got a full report.
What do you need that for? Like, maybe to see if people are talking about a project or something, but like, what do you need? I mean, maybe you want to put like, our boss sucks in there just to see who's complaining. And like, what else would you need that for?
Or a PSE file, every message, every attachment, every version. Under normal circumstances, your manager can't read your private team's messages, but if there's a legal dispute, an HR investigation, a regulatory inquiry, e-discovery gets triggered and everything becomes searchable. Every message, including the ones you've deleted, because the deletion Microsoft 365
Okay, so it only becomes active. I guess you turn it on if you need it for, I guess, a legal reason or something. Okay, that
doesn't mean it's
makes a
gone.
little more
It just
sense.
means it's been moved to a retention archive where it sits within the retention policy and then expires at some point. The practical takeaway here is simple. If you're typing something on a company device or a company platform and you wouldn't want a lawyer reading it in the courtroom, guess what? It's not rocket science. Don't type it.
Duh.
Simple. Feature number 5 then, OneDrive
That's blatantly obvious. And if you don't know that, learn it and remember it in your head.
and SharePoint version history. Every single document you open, every edit you make, every file you share, even if you move it or you delete it, all of it is logged within SharePoint and OneDrive with timestamps and user usage. It's as simple as that. An IT admin can access any employee's OneDrive file.
Usage. I was gonna say this is great because like if you accidentally delete a file, I guess that would mean that it's still there in some capacity. But yeah, like when you opened it and for how long, it's just too detailed, too
directly,
much.
without the employee even knowing about it. They can browse folders, they
We
can
know
open
about it
documents, they
now.
can review, edit history. The most common reason to do this is offboarding. When somebody leaves, the company needs access to their files, but the capability exists all of the time, not just at the exit point. For document version history specifically, every time you save a file, a new version is created. If you worked on something for an hour and then deleted everything you wrote, the previous version still exists in history. That's genuinely useful. How many times have you gone through a document, spent an hour and then lost it? Nightmare.
Yeah.
But it's only useful if something doesn't get, well, if it gets corrupted, it's useful. But it also means there's a complete audit trail of everything you've done inside that shared document. Feature 6.
We definitely need people's files if they quit or if they are fired. So I guess that I like that one.
Microsoft Copilot. This is the newest layer and honestly the most significant shift in how monitoring works. Copilot is Microsoft's AI assistant and it's deeply integrated
Copilot's watching us too.
within Microsoft 365. For individual users, it's a productivity tool. Summarize this email, draft this
Yeah, it's
response,
supposed to
find this
help.
file. All really good, useful stuff. But for managers and leaders, Copilot
Oh,
opens up
no.
something new. A manager can now open Copilot and ask, what has Scott been working on this week? What are the latest
That's
conversations we've
insane. What has Scott been working on this week? Bro, stop it.
had? Is there anything in our shared channels I should be aware of before our one-to-one? And Copilot will answer all of that. It pulls from the public Teams channels, shared files, emails, anything the manager has legitimate access to, and you can get that back, right? It's a readable summary. There's no digging through reports, no building queries, just a question typed in plain English and an answer. That changes the game for managers. Previously, accessing all of this information required someone to know where to look, and how to pull the reports. Now, it's as easy as having a Copilot conversation, which means the barrier to monitoring has just dropped to near zero. Feature 7 then is Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. This one tends to live a little bit in larger enterprises, regulated industries, but it's worth knowing about, right? Defender for Endpoint is a security tool that monitors managed devices across the organization. It tracks application usage, web activity on company devices.
See, I was excited. I was hoping that there was hope with like if I use QuickBooks or if I use like something that is not connected to Microsoft 365 and it's like, okay, well, they won't be able to track anything on those programs. I guess I was wrong.
And it flags usual behavior. Your IT security teams use it primarily to detect threats and compromised accounts. But the
Yeah,
data
sure. That's what they tell you. Oh, we're just, making sure that you don't get any viruses on your computer. Yeah, okay. That's all you're doing? No, it's not.
is comprehensive. If you're on a company managed laptop and you think the websites you're using during the day are private, guess what? They're not, because the logs exist. So be careful.
Well, you have to know to never, if you're on a company issued computer, not to go on certain websites. Like that's obvious.
What kind of websites you want to have a little look at, because your IT team can see it. So that's a toolkit, 7 of them. Now, here's why this actually matters. If you're an employee,
I think the only website I've ever been on that wasn't work related on my work laptop was like I was looking for these protein bars and I was like, whatever, they can know I'm healthy. Like, I don't care. But other than that, nope, don't even check your personal email in there.
the practical advice is pretty straightforward. First, find out what your company's monitoring policy is. What does it actually say? Under GDPR, organizations in the UK are
Interesting. I don't think our company even has a monitoring policy. So that's interesting.
legally required to tell employees what data they've collected and why. It should be in your employee handbook or
Oh,
your
so they
contract.
have to, ooh, so they have to tell them. So if they haven't told us and they are doing it, there could be legal there, or they'd add it at some point. But, or that just means they're not using it. I'm thinking about my own company because this is freaking me out.
It's not there. Go and request it. Take a look at it. Second thing, keep your personal stuff on personal devices. Don't log into your personal phone on your Teams
Right.
chat on your personal phone
Yep.
unless you absolutely have to.
Or
And
your
if you do,
email.
understand that in a legal situation, personal devices can be, which have been used for company work, can be used in a legal situation. That's not technical. That's actually happened.
I'm
Third, don't
sure
spend energy
plenty of
trying to gain the
times.
metrics. It's pointless. The vast majority of managers don't sit there reviewing teams' activity and reports every week. The realistic risk isn't in the day-to-day surveillance of people watching. It's in data
Okay.
being pulled from something that's already happened and somebody that's under scrutiny. If your work output is
Okay, so if they're probably only looking at it if you're already like your work's not good, they're like looking for additional information, I guess, to fire you or to like reprimand you or to put you on a, what is it? The PR, is it PRP, the performance plan or whatever? It's probably after you're already messing up that they pull that stuff for kind of just like support.
solid, your behavior professional, then the dashboard doesn't really need to be your problem. If you manage people or make technology decisions, here's the harder conversation. Just because you can use all of this data doesn't mean you should. The temptation, especially with
Mm-hmm.
remote teams, is to use activity metrics as a proxy for performance. Message count, meeting attendance, time online.
I guarantee there's managers that love this information. They're like, oh my God, I have something on Jennifer.
It's all there, it's all measurable. So it must mean something. It doesn't. Not directly. Someone sending 200 team messages a day and delivering nothing useful is still
Right.
just delivering nothing useful. Someone who sends 10
Exactly what I'm
messages a day but
saying.
hits every single deadline and every single budget isn't a problem just because their activity score looks quiet. So
Right.
use this data as a diagnostic tool to spot somebody who's struggling maybe or troubleshoot some technical problems that people are having, to build documented performance case when one is genuinely warranted and not
Okay.
because you want to. Don't use it as a scoreboard. And if your organization is relying on Microsoft 365 surveillance data to understand whether people are performing, then you've got a management problem. You haven't got a dashboard
Yes,
that you need to fix. That's a management
100%.
issue. Hopefully that's giving you a bit of
Micromanager problem. That would be a micromanager problem if all they're doing is using these metrics to make decisions and to make definitive opinions on if you are or are not working or if you are or are not productive.
insight. And all of this setup is great when it's used properly and with the right morals. And having the right technology in place within your meeting room is great. But what happens at 9:58 a.m. when you have a meeting planned for 10 a.m. and you realize the camera's broken? Seriously, think about it. What happens? We use our Sport Track platform to remotely monitor and manage all of our clients' devices so that we can see long before that 10 a.m. meeting that the camera is offline and we can do something about it. So if you want some information on that, check the Sport Track link out below and go and see what we've got to share on that.
Check it out if you need it.
Great. Now, you know what can be monitored. Don't be scared by it, but I'm just giving you the heads up. But that can all be monitored. But knowing that information is one thing. How do you know actually how to set up the perfect workstation when you have a hybrid or working from home policy? That's why I created this video here, which shows you how to create the perfect home setup for, guess what, under $500. Go check it.
Check it out if you need it. So yeah, I guess they're freaking watching us. But he gave me some hope at the end. I got nervous. I was like, what are we gonna do now? But it seems like they're only using it if you're already in trouble. So maybe just don't get in trouble and you'll be good. Okay, thanks. Like, subscribe, all the things. Love you. Comment. Love you.